Sir, may I come
Yes.
please? Good afternoon, sir.
Please take your seat.
Yes,
Sarthak Singh.
yes sir.
Sarthak, you come from Gurugram, Haryana.
Yes, sir.
Your optional subject is political science and international relations.
Yes, sir.
And you have graduated in electrical engineering from Delhi Technological University. That's the Delhi College of Engineering.
Yes, sir.
And this is your fourth attempt
Yes,
at the civil services. And your hobbies include reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita,
yes, sir.
watching stand-up comedy videos, and jogging. So let me start with your hobby, and that is reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Sarthak, how did you develop this hobby, and how it has helped you in improving your personality?
Sir, developing hobby was a personal situational kind of thing where I was attracted to Gita in a situation of personal crisis. My mother was on bed rest after a road accident, and my father had to go to Cambridge on government program. Delhi government organized for its principals. In September 2019, this was the time, and I had already failed first prelims, so I was not in a mood to study, not in a mood to meet people, not in a mood to talk to anybody. Because of all this that was going on, so I went to my mother's temple, and there I found Srimad Bhagavad Gita was kept, and I started reading. I had interest in reading books, so I started reading that, and that gave a self-confidence which cannot be expressed in words, and that kind of gave me a new direction. And when COVID came, I watched Ramayana and Mahabharata on TV, and Mahabharata has Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita as its part, so I enjoyed Mahabharata as well as this hobby. And coming to the part where as it helped me first to gain confidence, and second to know various things about life which we do not know as per our general education system. Bhagavad Gita teaches that everything is impermanent, nothing will stay here. This is today, it might not be tomorrow. And as far as this exam is concerned, Bhagavad Gita also gave a philosophical bent of mind, which held in the essay exam, in the essay paper.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So if Arjun represents courage, Karna represents compassion, what does Krishna represents?
Sir, it is difficult to describe Sri Krishna in one word. So I would say he is beyond description of beyond. He is beyond words. He would be. I would say he can be described as the Supreme Lord, which is the complete man. That is what I can say. Whatever was his childhood, his friendship, his relationships with other persons, with his mother, that in my opinion there is only one complete man, and that is Lord Sri Krishna. That is what I would say for him.
So would you agree if I say Krishna represents consciousness?
Yes, sir.
What is consciousness?
Sir, consciousness is the inherent sense of right or wrong.
It's conscience.
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about consciousness.
Sir, I will not be able to describe that.
Okay. What lessons from the Mahabharata war are relevant till today, apart from falling in the trap of adharma?
Sir, first and foremost is that the man should not consider female as his property. Yudhishthir lost his wife Draupadi in the game of Dyut Krida, and that was immediate reason for Mahabharata war. So there is a need to focus on the feminist perspectives, and our Lord itself, man itself is not complete without woman, as I would say it, because we have Lord Shiva as Ardhanarishwar, and in Mahabharata we were considering female as the property of husband. Second, I would say that we need to give sense of values to our younger generations. In it it is also important that who are you being guided by. That is also important, because Duryodhan was being guided by Shakuni and blind Dhritarashtra, whereas Arjun was being guided by Lord himself, Lord Shri Krishna. So who you choose as a mentor or a teacher or your guide, that also defines, or a nation chooses who as their leader, that also defines the direction the nation would take. So these 3-4 lessons I think are important.
Okay. Are you following the current affairs?
Yes, sir.
Have you gone through today's newspaper?
No, sir.
Why?
Sir,
It's so late in the day.
Sir, I wake up late in the morning and I read newspaper in the night. That
But
is a-
nowadays we have digital copies. Do you carry a smartphone?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you access the newspaper then?
Sir, I have not read today's, but I am aware of current affairs.
Have you read yesterday's newspaper?
No, sir. Not yesterday.
What about day before yesterday?
Yes, sir, I have read that.
So what is the most important news in that newspaper according to you?
Sir, I kind of have forgotten, but I just saw today's newspaper. And Captain Amrinder was being appointed as the governor of Maharashtra. That is what I can recall. I had this slight headline. I was carrying it in the bag, and before I was waiting, I read that.
Many feel that the office of governor has been politicized since independence. What is your take on that? And should we abolish this office, or should we go for an elected governor rather than an appointed governor?
Sir, in spirit, the office of governor was a requirement as the Constituent Assembly felt, because to have a center's representative to oversee the affairs of state so that we do not balkanize, the office of governor was an essential requirement. It should not be made a elected office, because this will increase conflict with chief ministers, because governor being elected will take the vote. He will be a competitor to chief minister, or chief minister would want a second grade man of his party to be the governor.
Got it.
And as far as politicizing is concerned, sir, in bits and pieces there might be instances where few governors work on the behest of political parties they represent, but political parties they had in past in associations with. But sir, as per the constitutional mandate and the recommendations of Panchi Commission,
Okay. Whom do you like as a leader? Past or present? You can choose anyone. Whom do you like as a leader?
sir, Mahatma Gandhi would be the best choice.
Highlight one particular aspect in Gandhiji which you do not admire.
Sir, one particular thing that I can think of, that Gandhiji, it is not expressed explicitly in history books, whatever my knowledge is, but Gandhiji suggested Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru as the Prime Minister of India when the Congress committees were not in favor of Pandit Nehru. So that I think was not the respecting of the Congress committees, states Congress committees view, which I think he superimposed, and a leader should not do that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sarthak,
Yes, sir.
Sarthak, the collar of your coat needs to be corrected. Can you please correct that?
So this.
Okay. What do you understand by the name Sarthak?
Sir, Sarthak means something that has a meaning, and something that is successful is also called as Sarthak.
Good. 1st October.
Yes, sir.
What is this day celebrated worldwide as?
Sir, it is celebrated as Day for Older Persons.
How should we celebrate this day?
Sir, we should, as far as the government is concerned, we should
Forget about the government. How should we celebrate it as individuals?
Sir, by spending time with older persons that we can get in contact with, because technology has made us self-centered and there is no time to spend with older persons. That is what I should think.
Good. Sarthak, you have done your BTech. You are an electrical engineer,
Yes, sir.
right? And that too from a very prestigious establishment. Now tell me, why civil services?
Sir, initially it was encouragement from my grandfather. He wanted me to be an IAS. And while I was in college, I was evaluating my various career options. I found civil service would provide the best opportunity to serve the society, work for dreams and aspirations of others Indians, and also would give a good career for me as an individual. So I think it was ticking all the boxes, so I chose this.
But then, when did you choose? When did you decide that you would want to be a civil services officer?
Sir, in 2016, second year of my college.
2016 you decided, but right from 2015 till 2022 you have been appearing continuously for the CDS and CAPF
Yes, sir.
also.
Yes, sir.
That means you are distracted. You don't have a single track mind.
Sir, as far as appearing for the SCRA was concerned in 2015, that was my friend was filling that form, so I filled that form and I did not appear in that exam. And CDS I started to appear after I had failed the first prelims, so I was looking it as a net practice for prelims exam.
You appeared for 2 interviews during
Yes,
the
sir.
CDS.
Yes, sir, I appeared for them, and I even qualified the medical of the CAPF, but I was medically unfit for the uniformed forces. So I had to drop that option altogether.
And what was the reason?
Sir, I had a soft opacity in lung, which the doctor said this might affect the working in higher altitude regions.
That is not an unfit condition for the CAPF.
Sir, that is the unfit condition for CAPF only, which
No,
I
but-
was medically unfit.
No, but what about the CDS then?
I did not clear the SSB. I appeared twice. I was not able to clear the SSB, the conference that happens. I was conference out twice.
You were a member of the NSS.
Yes, sir.
Tell me 3 values that you portray, which NSS has helped you develop further actually.
Sir, first important value is empathy, to understand the situations from others' point of view. Second, I would say, is working in a team, because NSS functions as a unit, which I developed. And third, I would say, is integrity, because whatever plan that we make, and whatever team that we are in working for a unit, we are constantly evaluated by our seniors, by our colleagues, or by the same year students that we are in. So there is no one-manship in the NSS unit that I was in.
Can you recall any instance wherein you showed integrity?
Sir, there was a time when we were having a book donation camp and somebody donated some new books as well. And I was fond of reading, so I thought that I should keep these 2 new books and I will give the other books that I will donate and I will give them from my side, rather than giving these 2 books, because these 2 I have to read because I have not yet read them, and I will give some other 2. But then I thought that I should not do this. I'll read them in the online format. So I did not take those books.
Okay. You are fond of jogging also.
Yes, sir.
How do you differentiate between jogging and running?
Sir, running is in speed. It is generally defined as, if I'm able to recall that correctly, 10 miles per hour or something is the technical
Is it
definition.
10 miles?
Or maybe 10 kilometers. Sir, I'm not very sure on this. But the difference is of speed.
Okay. Can you give me 3 advantages of jogging?
Sir, first is it keeps the body active and will improve the circulation to mind and improves the mind's functioning. Second is it will help to, I would say, give a free time which is devoid of distraction, which is devoid of family members, free time to oneself to think about the plan for the day. When we do jogging in morning, then we can plan for the day. Third thing is it, I think, gives a connect to nature, which is and connect to sunlight, which is otherwise restricted when we are in
What is
room.
the NSS motto?
Sir, NSS stands for not me but you.
You are fond of Gita, you say.
Yes, sir.
Reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, sir.
How many chapters are there in the Bhagavad Gita?
Sir, 18 chapters.
And how many shloks?
Sir, 700 shlokas.
Exactly 700?
Sir, one is not numbered, so it is taken as 700 shlokas.
There is one shlok in the Bhagavad Gita which is not recited by either Shri Krishna or Arjun or Sanjay. Who was that?
Yes, sir. Sir, Dhritarashtra says the first slok.
Okay. Thank you, Sarthak.
Thank you, sir.
Sarthak, you have graduated in electrical engineering. So, can you tell me about Telecom Development Fund, Telecom Technology Development Fund? What are its aims?
Sir, I have not read this.
Do you know about United Services Obligation Fund?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Sir, it was a fund established where the contribution were to be made by telecoms as percentage of their profit, and this will be used for developing the telecom industry in the rural. It will be used for providing the connectivity to rural areas, which is otherwise less profitable. So the private telecom companies do not go there. And there was a recent draft bill to telecom wherein this USOF, Universal Services Obligation Fund, has been made to some other fund. I am forgetting the name, but now it aims for to give money for R&D as well as urban areas.
Good. But this was launched, United Services Obligation Fund. This telecom fund, telecom development fund has been launched by this one, Universal Services Obligation Fund. You know very clearly that is the objective of even telecom development fund. Now you tell me the fund which is there, which comes, you are absolutely correct, but the fund, where it is, where it goes, like fund, where it goes, like.
Sir, I am not sure, but if you allow, I will take a guess.
Yeah, you take a guess.
Sir, I think some body or probably TRAI would be having the control over that fund.
See, the money which is being pooled there, na? Where that money is going? Do a guess.
Sir, to government-owned BSNL and MTNL, because they are involved in.
No, it is going to Consolidated Fund of India. Since you have optional as PSIR, can you
Yes.
tell me about Wolf Warrior Diplomacy?
Yes, sir.
What
Sir,
is
I
that?
have heard that some former Chinese foreign minister was a part. Chinese foreign policy is probably known as kind of that, and it was in news because a foreign minister, they have changed the foreign minister. So either the new one or the going out, the some foreign minister, it is related to some Chinese foreign minister. That is what I can recall, sir.
It has been actually taken from Chinese action film. Can you name that film?
No, sir, I have not heard that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The Lord went with the peace proposal in the Bhagavad Gita
Yes, sir.
and ended up in war. Was there a hidden agenda behind it? The Lord could have ended the war. The Lord knows everything, as you have said.
Yes, sir.
It cannot be described in words. Why did not the Lord stop the war?
Sir, in spirit, Lord Krishna went for the taking 5 villages in place of the half of the kingdom which was rightfully Pandavas. Pandavas should have got that. But he, as far as I can say, that it is necessary at times to take extreme steps like the war, because as scholars describe it, it was not a war but it was a yajna. And yajna has to be with the ahuti of adharmis, that was the Duryodhan and his supporters. So Kurukshetra saw a yajna rather than a war. And I think when we see this as yajna, so this looks justified, and as it is said in the third slok, that yada yada hi dharmasya, and the whole slok, so I think it was necessary to uphold dharma.
Was it not a hidden agenda to settle this course with Jarasandh? Jarasandh drove the Lord away from the Mathura.
Sir, that could have been one of the reasons for the war, but there were other immediate reasons, and it was the fight for Pandavas' rightful claim on the kingdom.
Bhishma has promised that he has relinquished everything in this world. Bhishma has promised.
Yes, sir.
Why Bhishma fought this war? When he has relinquished all the possessions, he will not take any side. Why he fought for the Kauravas, not the Pandavas? And he did not. Why did he take part in this war? He should not have taken part in this war. When a person relinquishes all the positions in the world, and he will not accept anything, any kingdom, any pension, anything.
Sir, as far as I can say, that Bhishma has, as you rightly mentioned, has relinquished everything, but he was under oath to support the king of Hastinapur, and whosoever would be the king, he would support that, because Bhishma said that मेरी निष्ठा सिंहासन के प्रति है और सिंहासन कौरवों के साथ है, तो मैं मजबूरन कौरवों के साथ हूँ, because he in the heart he knew that Pandavas were right and Pandavas should get, and he even loved Arjun more than anyone else, but he was bound by his oath, so he took the side of Kauravas.
When was the Constitution of India adopted? It
Sir,
was adopted on 26 November
1949. Yes.
And when it came into force?
Sir, some provisions came into force on that date itself, and others on the
It came into
26th
force
January
on 26 January 1950.
1950. Yes, sir.
What are the 3 important words mentioned in the document? First word is liberty. Second, who you complete now.
Sir, first would be liberty, second would be equality, and third would be justice.
26 January 1950 was the day the Constitution came into force in this country.
Yes.
But here, in the Republic Day parade, we show our military might.
Yes, sir.
We show the military marching in tune with the bands and the roar of the planes. Should not we overhaul the Republic Day celebrations to make it non-violent in nature?
No, sir, we should not make it non-violent in nature, because force is an essential element of state, and army, as we know, works under the constitution, and everything has to be backed by the, and army's importance is there because it has served us well in past 75 years. It has fought 4 wars for us and win every time. So it is also a message to the world that we believe in peace, but if not peace, then we can will through other ways also. So that I think is important to project our power, and various other countries do that, So I think this is a good symbol that we are projecting on Republic Day, but more additions can be done, like it was done to include the Bal Dasta in the parade. It was done to include Subhash Chandra Bose's army's personnel in the Republic Day parade. So more additions can be done suiting to the needs, but I think military show must continue.
We gained our independence through non-violent means. And on the day of the constitution is adopted, we show our military might. Is it not contradictory?
Sir, we gained our independence through
Non-violent means.
non-violent means, but supported by various other sections of the society as well, which the Honorable Home Minister said, which have not been well documented. The contribution by the tribals, the contribution by the revolutionaries. And showing military might is not that we are going for a war or we aim for expanding our territories, but it is necessary to show that this military is under the constitution. That is the main message on the constitutional day, on the Republic Day that we have.
The government always asks the citizens to be very transparent.
Yes, sir.
But nowadays, the government of the day is showing opacity in decision making. What two things will you suggest to reform this thing in the RTI Act and the draft IT rules?
Sir, I am not aware of the draft IT rules, but I think that RTI Act was amended to have the government more say over the terms and conditions of service for the IOs and the officers of the information giving departments. So that is what I am aware, but I think transparency should be done, and it is being done through other ways, like it can also be achieved through other ways, like parliamentary committees evaluate report.
What particular act, what particular section of the RTI Act should be amended to make the government more accountable? Do you know? If you can make section 4.
Sir, I am not aware of the exact act, so I will have to guess. Otherwise, I am not aware.
You have said that the governor is essential requirement.
Yes, sir.
But nowadays we are finding that the governor is sitting on bills for months together.
Yes, sir.
When Article 200 entails the entire requirements of the governor, what two fixes will you suggest to make the role of a governor very constructive?
Sir, first is that governors and all the appointing authorities or the constitutional positions, they should respect the constitutional supremacy.
They are
rather
respecting everything. They are respecting constitutional morality.
Yes.
What two fixes will you suggest? We are finding that the governors are sitting on bills for months together in Telangana and all the states.
Yes, sir.
What two fixes will you suggest?
Sir, one, as per the Rajamanar Commission, the CM can be included in while appointing the governors. And second, that appointment of governors can be done through an independent body like UPSC. That is what I think.
There should be. Why don't you talk about the time limit for giving assent to the bills? There is no time limit in our constitution anywhere. And second,
Sir, putting a
time limit
yes,
is not desirable. Why?
sir, putting a time limit will might increase the workload on the governor, and it might reduce the whatever inspections of the bill that he has to done on his part. Giving a time limit would be making it like a routine work rather than the time he needs to study the bill and take decision on various aspects of the bill as per the constitution. That time might be required. In some bills would be 2 months, and for some bills it would be 8 months as per the availability of the governor. So I think putting under a constant pressure of time limit of 6 months would be a constant ticking clock on head of the governor, which I think can be disastrous, because time limit has to be there, then he would be under force to
Then governor is having no control. Then who should control the governor? The state executive or the Rajya Sabha? He's sitting on the bills, you are telling that
Yes,
no
sir.
time limit should be there.
Yes, sir.
There should be a check and balance, no?
Sir, I think President herself should keep a check on her governors because they are appointed by her itself. So rather than giving the checks to Rajya Sabha, President should take note of workings of her governor.
So the bills are sent to the president for assent also.
Yes, sir.
Why the president should take the responsibility of the governor?
Sir, because President is the constitutional head of the state. So, and appointment of governor is done by the President. So she should take responsibility of functioning of her governors.
A civil servant is also appointed under the signature of the president and the UPSC chairman.
Yes, sir.
Should he take the responsibility of a civil servant in the district also? No.
Sir, that would be unmanageable. But managing 30-40 governors is okay rather than managing 5,000 IAS officers.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sarthak, one last question. After that, we will end this interaction.
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between hoisting the national flag and unfurling the national flag?
Sir, national flag is hoisted on 15th August and it is unfurled on 26th January. Sorry, sir. Sir, because in 15th of August we got independence, so it is taken from below the mast to above and then it is unfurled. So that is called hoisting. And unfurling is, it is already there on the top, it just has to be opened, which is done on Republic Days. That is what. Yes, sir, I am right, I think.
Thank you, Sarthak. Your interview is over. We will reconnect with you in some time for a
Yes, sir.
feedback. Stay connected.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Please. Take your seat. Sarthak,
Yes, sir.
first let us understand the purpose of this exercise. Aspirants call it interview, but it is in no way exchange of views. UPSC calls it personality test.
Yes.
So every question that is thrown at you is thrown with the intention to understand your personality. What kind of values you have? Are you a good decision maker? Can you work under stress? Can you create a balance between work and professional responsibilities on one hand and the family responsibilities on the other? Will you constructively engage with multiple stakeholders, or you have a closed mindset? Do you have a broad outlook towards life? Do you suffer from any kind of prejudices, biases, stereotypical thought? Are you a problem solver? Are you a troubleshooter? Can you work in a team? Can you lead a team? All these kind of things. The idea is to see that once you are trained, whether you will further the aim of social justice or you will become a roadblock in the delivery of the path of social justice. Okay? So every question that is thrown at you is thrown with this intention. So let's first be very clear with the objective of the personality test. Got that thing, dear?
Yes.
So let me highlight the good points in you.
Yes, sir.
You maintained a good smile throughout the course of the interaction, which I liked very much. And you were not perturbed even when the quality of the questions were of such nature that they were intended to put you under stress. You maintained your composure and you answered in a very constructive fashion. All your answers, most of them perhaps, were very good. Do you understand that? They were on the good side. When sir pointed out that your collar is not appropriate, you did not panic and you managed it. Though it was very not so, you can say, fitting to come into the room like that,
Yes.
but the response was good. Do you understand that? Your knowledge about Srimad Bhagavad Gita is good, and it was reflected throughout the course of the interview that you have hold over what you are claiming to be your hobby or interest area. So that was very good to take note of. There was not very much questions from electrical engineering because of paucity of time, but I would also ask you to revise the basic concepts of electrical engineering and the new developments in electrical engineering. But the good things will remain good, Sarthak. Let me highlight the areas where I think you need improvement. I'll start from the very beginning as you entered the room. Your entry was very casual. The right way is to stand at that door, present yourself from head to toe, and with a smile on your face, confidently ask. And look towards the board. You were looking somewhere there. So look towards the board, right? And then with a smile on your face, you ask. And then do not show the eagerness to sit. This shows that you cannot wait for taking orders. Stand by the chair, besides the chair, whatever side which is nearest to the door. Do not never stand behind the chair or in front of the chair, side of the chair. And then when you are asked to sit, then after the permission, you occupy your seat. Your sitting posture was more or less correct, with a minor suggestion that your knees are spread across. So yes, it gives an impression as if you're too relaxed, right? This is a formal interaction there,
Yes,
and you must maintain that. Also, is there any religious reason why you have grown the beard?
No, sir. Sir, it is just because it was winters and
No, that is not a satisfactory
I was-
explanation there. See, even in the Republic Day, there is a full dress rehearsal,
yes, sir.
and you must take
Sure, sir.
the mock interviews also with that spirit, right? Do you think that the Jawans, they lack
No, sir,
coordination?
no, sir.
Why do they do that then?
Sir, they
Because it
do
gets
that
into your
day
psyche.
in and day out. Yes, sir.
Do you understand that? So come clean shave. In that way, you look more sharp. Otherwise, it gives as if जैसे आपकी टाई नीचे लटक रही है, आपकी दाढ़ी निकली हुई है, वो अजीब सा नहीं लगता? ऐसा लगता है जैसे आप कोई मतलब आफ्टरनून मैटिनी शो देखने आए हैं. ऐसा लग रहा है.
Sir,
ठीक
yes,
है,
sir.
वो तो नहीं है ना?
Sir, अब तो सर्दियाँ भी
So
खत्म
you
हो गई.
improve on that area
Yes,
there.
sir.
Eye contact was not appropriate. On what is the right way of having eye contact when somebody is asking you the question? Look towards that person. Allow the person to finish the question. Do not start immediately answering, because there could be a clarification, a counter question, or a supplementary question attached to that. Once the question is finished, then you start answering, but your answer should be by keeping everybody in the fold. It means that you should look towards the person who has asked you the question primarily, but also you should engage with other members of the board. Sometimes I felt that you were only looking to the person who was asking the question. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
So you have to improve on that area as well. Hand movements, I felt at times was excessive and casual. There was a casualness attached to overall interview. Even if I look at the shoes, they're more of a sports shoe, and it doesn't look that you are very much serious about this entire engagement. See, Sarthak, this entire thing is being said with the objective to help you to crack the examination,
Yes.
so that you go into the final list. This is your which attempt? Fourth attempt.
Yes, sir.
Which interview?
The second.
Second interview. So you can understand that it takes a lot of effort to reach up to this point.
Yes, sir.
Now do not throw away this opportunity, dear. Do you understand that? Take this thing very sincerely. Do not get perturbed. Do not get overawed by the overall situation. But you should be very sincere about it. You should be focused on it, right?
Yes, sir.
At the same time, maintaining your composure. The smile was very good. You have an infectious smile. Maintain that. It will help you, right? But as you exited, and even while you greeted the members, you did something like this,
Yes, sir.
if I remember.
Yes, sir.
Not required. Not required. A polite nod would be sufficient. Right? You do not have to bend over. Whenever a new information is given to you, say thank you. This showcases you have humility. Whenever you do not know anything, apologize, but also say I will go back and read about it. This shows your learning attitude. Do you understand that? Yes. And if somebody interjects, then stop there, right there. Do not speak over the panelists. This shows discipline. Do you get that?
sir.
Do not never speak over your seniors.
Yes, sir.
Correct, dear? So all these things will put you in good stead. I loved your answer regarding some of the questions, and you were not overawed in those questions. But I feel, somewhere I feel that you are taking the entire exercise bit too casually. And that might go against you. Too much of relaxation is not advised, dear. You have to have a relaxed mindset, but you cannot go like as if there is no care in the world. Laid back attitude. You cannot go with that kind of an attitude, right? So now sir will add few points to that.
Yes, sir.
Then you can ask your question, then I'll disclose your marks.
Sarthak,
Yes, sir.
one word for the whole interview: casual, casual, casual. Very casual. Even when you entered, hands were flaying.
Yes, sir.
जैसे ना कौन सा फिल्म का डायलॉग है ना वो
आ
वाला
गया मैं.
तो itna casualness is not good, believe me. It is very, very negative. You have to give it, it's a formal affair, you have to give it the respect that it deserves. ठीक है? Because that will straight away आपके 10 नंबर कम हो जाएंगे. Straight away. Even that कोट का आपका कॉलर भी जो था ना, it showed casualness. ठीक है? आपका hand movements showed casualness. Shoes का है, please wear appropriate shoes. Hair is unkept. बड़ा कंघी ठीक से करो जरा कम से कम. At least, you know, when you go that day, you should present a picture that people should feel nice about. वो ये भी casualness दिखा रहा है. Answers आपके बहुत लंबे थे. बहुत लंबे आंसर थे. एक दो आंसर तो आपको पूछा गया कृष्णा के one word for Krishna.
Yes.
You know, you spoke almost for 2 minutes. One word जहां बोलना था would have taken you just maybe 1 second. You spoke for 120 seconds. क्या मतलब हुआ? You have lost time in trying to say something. एक वर्ड में जो बोलना आपने इतना बोला, इतने बोलने में क्या किया आपने, इतना टाइम वेस्ट किया अपना. We could not ask you that many questions. We could have asked you many more. We wanted to ask you many more questions. We couldn't because your answers were very long. Answers have to be short. This is not a test of knowledge. Remember that piece. वो सब खत्म हो चुका है. यहाँ पे खाली मैं आपका we are just seeing your personality, nothing else. समझ रहे हो? Sometimes questions will be asked to you in such a manner they will be negative in nature to see how you respond. I pointed out your quote on purpose. We could have done without it. We could have just said they are casual. That's all. But yet I pointed out just to see how you react to it. ठीक है? So वो आपको थोड़ा जरा आंसर्स को अपने थोड़ा सा टाइम कम करना पड़ेगा so you get more questions to answer. More questions to answer means more information we can gather about your personality. Okay? Eye contact was very, very inappropriate. उसको आपको improve करना पड़ेगा. You, in a couple of instances, you started thinking. Took a long time to think, but without taking any permission. Don't do that. If you have to think, see, number one is do not jump to the answers. Take a few seconds, maybe a few seconds, 1 or 2 seconds or 3 seconds, and then answer. But when you have to think to answer and you want to take a little longer time, please take permission before thinking. बिना permission के सोचना शुरू मत कर देना. और while thinking, do not look there, here, there, up और नीचे. जिसकी तरफ देख रहे हो उसी तरफ देखते हुए खाली अपनी गेज को लोअर करना है बस, not your neck. ठीक है, वो रिमेंबर कीजिए आप. Then in one place you said I wake up late. That is the weakness. It's a terrible weakness to have as a civil servant.
And reason for not reading the newspapers.
And then you said I read the newspaper at night.
Yes.
आज का नहीं पढ़ा, नहीं पढ़ा, कल का पढ़ा, कल भी नहीं पढ़ा. तो आपने अपने आप को बोल के कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट कर दिया. I read at night, तो कल का भी मैंने कल नहीं पढ़ा. So this definitely is not appropriate. That means you're not updated. Don't say this. ठीक है? And lastly, one instance when you were asked a question by sir, what did you say? Straight away, I have not read this. That is not a statement to be made. I have not read this. You're not supposed to be knowing everything in the world. अगर आपने नहीं पढ़ा, आपको नहीं पता उसके बारे में, I'm sorry sir, I'm not aware about it. I'll go back and check. I'll go back and read.
Yes, sir.
I have not read is abrupt, not expected. Small points, but if you correct them, last time आपका इंटरव्यू तो कितना स्कोर मिला था आपको?
सर 59% था भारत भूषण व्यास सर के बोर्ड में.
59% means
सर 162.
162. So you should have improved in that case. ठीक है?
Yes.
You are not a 162 candidate. Let me tell you. Something must have gone wrong. आपने अगर इंट्रोस्पेक्शन किया तो कुछ ना कुछ तो पता चला होगा क्या गलती हुई थी.
Yes, sir.
Where was the mistake?
Sir, I was first in a hurry. I was in a hurry. I was giving every answer as just 1-line answer or 2-line answer at max. And second is there were some very loose questions like full toss balls, and that could have increased marks, but I failed to recognize that they were full toss. In that hurry, I failed to recognize. And now when I think, had I been, if I get the same question now, I will definitely score a 6 this time. But last time what I missed those balls as well. There were some very good questions which could have been answered too.
Short answers was not a wrong thing to do. That was the right thing to do. Short answers का मतलब ये नहीं होता कि आंसर छोटा करोगे. The meat has to be said. आपने मीट पहले डालना है, मसाला बाद में डालना है. That is what is the short answer का theory जो है, ठीक है. But from whatever you have learned from that experience and whatever has been told to you today, I can assure you, you are definitely a 180 plus candidate. ठीक है. उससे कम अगर आपने लिया, you are not living up to your potential and that will not be appropriate. Fourth attempt, do not attempt to go back again the whole exercise. It will be again a very very difficult. आपको पता है कितना हार्ड वर्क और कितना टाइम लगता है इसमें, है कि नहीं. मेक दिस योर लास्ट अटेम्प्ट. जो भी पॉइंट्स बताए गए, प्लीज फोकस ऑन देम एंड करेक्ट देम. 20 to 25 मार्क्स आप स्ट्रेट अवे ऐड कर सकते हैं विदाउट एनी डाउट. ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट.
Sarthak, now you can ask your questions.
Sir, I had just two questions. First was that when I was answering about making Republic Day as non-violent, was that answer fine? Does it not show that this person is favoring force or favoring army?
See, the question.
I said it was below constitutional. The army is below constitutional.
See, the question was asked with a purpose.
Purpose.
The purpose was to shake you, to see what is your understanding of Republic Day. Do you consider Republic Day as a violent exercise? An army is a part of our state power, but then we have cultural power also. Is it only parade and air force? It is also about the different kind of jhankis that we see. Schools. It's a comprehensive exercise. And military power is a reality. We need it. We lived in a troubled neighborhood. Don't we?
Yes, sir.
Then how can we downplay that? The choice of the word non-violent or violent was done to see that whether you think it is violent or non-violent. It's comprehensive. Got it, dear?
One more thing about the Mahatma Gandhi question that you asked. I said making.
No, that was not appropriate. Why? Because a civil servant should talk about facts. And this was a rumor or something like that. I'm not saying that this is not a fact, but it is maybe not declassified. I know, but is that declassified? Properly documented? Is it there in the history books? Not yet, maybe. There are other instances, like you could have highlighted the Tripuri crisis if you wanted to showcase this point as only. Tripuri was more or less the same episode and everybody knows about it. आपका पॉइंट तो कन्वे हो जाता ना जो आप करना चाह रहे थे, कि आप मेरे ख्याल से ये बोलना चाह रहे थे थोड़ा अनडेमोक्रेटिक लगा मुझे वो, तो त्रिपुरी वाला वही है ना. आर यू अवेयर अबाउट दैट क्राइसिस? सुभाष बोस एंड पट्टाभिसितरमैया, तो वो वैसे ही याद है ना, वो तो है भी 1939 का क्राइसिस है. उसके बाद ही क्विट इंडिया मूवमेंट और वो सब कुछ है, फॉरवर्ड ब्लॉक बन गया था, पता है ना आपको? और कुछ पूछना चाहते? सार्थक, ये आपके कैजुअलनेस ने आपके नंबर कम कर दिया, वरना कैंडिडेट बड़े बेहतरीन हो. हमने आज हम आपको 170 दिया है, तो देखो 162 से 170 हुआ है बस. मतलब क्वालिटी वही है, बट थोड़ा इम्प्रूवमेंट लाना पड़ेगा. शेव कर लेते, कोट सही रहता, जूते सही होते, ये ना करते, अच्छे से घुसते, तो ये सभी 15-20 नंबर और जोड़ देते. तो 15 ऐड कर लो, इसमें कितना हो गया? 185 हो गया. और आपको पता है 180 के ऊपर जो भी है वो बोनस है. 180 तो बेयर मिनिमम होना चाहिए अगर आईएएस चाहिए तो. हो सकता है 160 में भी मिल जाए, लेकिन आपको पता है फिर एक्सीलेंट होना चाहिए मेंस में मार्क, और 20-30 नंबर का ही हेर फेर है हर तरफ. तो वो क्यों खोना? अपनी कैजुअलनेस की वजह से. पहला इंटरव्यू तो है नहीं और पहला अटेम्प्ट भी नहीं है, तो कुछ चीज समझते हो, एनर्जी कॉस्ट समझते हो, टाइम कॉस्ट समझते हो, बहुत ज्यादा आ गया है तुम्हारा. स्टेक्स आर वेरी हाई फॉर यू. इट्स नॉट लाइक अ फर्स्ट टाइमर. समझ रहे हो ना? अब तुम सीनियर खिलाड़ी हो टीम के, तो तुमको रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेनी पड़ेगी मैच खत्म करने का. तुम जाके पहली बॉल में चला कर नहीं वापस आ सकते, क्योंकि हो सकता है आगे चांसेस कम मिले. गॉट इट? सो एज सर पॉइंटेड आउट, दिस शुड बी योर लास्ट अटेम्प्ट. पहले तो ये माइंडसेट डेवलप करो कि मेरा लास्ट अटेम्प्ट है, ठीक है? इसलिए नहीं कि ये कोई जिद बना लो आप, सोचो कि हाँ मैं यहाँ तक आया हूँ, मैं इंप्रूव करूंगा यहाँ से। 170 है, अब मैं ले जाऊंगा इसको 190 प्लस, और ये छोटी मोटी चीजें करके, और थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस करो। मुझे लगता है आप बहुत ज्यादा लेट बैक भी हो ऐसे, थोड़ा जनरल लाइफ में भी दोस्तों यारों के साथ ऐसे ही रहते हो, चिल्ड आउट लग रहे हो बिल्कुल मुझे आप। हाँ, इतना भी नहीं होना चाहिए। स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी देख देख कर हो सकता है ऐसा हो गया है कि आपको लगता है ये कूल है। नहीं, ये कूल नहीं है, फॉर्मल सेटिंग्स में नहीं है, ठीक है, क्योंकि वो जो पोर्ट्रे करते हैं एक लाइफ, वो एक डिफरेंट लाइफ है, ठीक है। एंड यंगस्टर्स जनरली फॉल इनटू दैट ट्रैप, उनको लगता है कि यही सही तरीका है, नॉट द राइट वे। हैव यू सीन अ फॉरेन सेक्रेटरी टॉकिंग लाइक दैट, और अ होम सेक्रेटरी? तो व्हाई यू आर टॉकिंग लाइक दैट? व्हाट डियर, ऑल द बेस्ट।
व्हाट्सएप थोड़ा कम पढ़ा कीजिए आप।